P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. Let us not forget that. So here's the thing. There is a lot that's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of cases. There's a lot of crime that's going on out here in these streets. And I promise you, we will be getting back to our regularly scheduled program in that conversation and covering things and exposing the evildoers that are out here in the world. Trust and believe we will be doing that for sure. But something happened last night that we need to talk about. I told you guys that I would be watching this and I would watch with you guys, or at least a good portion of this. I told you guys I'd watch it with you guys and discuss it, because we have been keeping watch on this whole Charlie Kirk case, this Charlie Kirk tragedy, this Charlie Kirk situation. It has been absolutely insane. I think we can all agree on that. And the information that's been out here has been very interesting. And now the internet's reacting to this very interview as well. So we're going to get into this. All right. I told you guys I'd be watching it. So here I am watching it with y'all. Okay. So do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, a do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you're following. Okay. Follow me on all those platforms, please and thank you. All right. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on my main channel, right here on my YouTube channel. Go check out my second channel and my third channel. The second channel is called The Pascal Show Clips. Third channel is called Pascal Raw. Please and thank you. Go and subscribe to those channels. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. To be completely honest, it is random. All right. Subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really good stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. All right. Check it out when you get a second. No pressure. Stick around. We got to talk. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, this is a situation, okay, that we have got to get into. And there's been a lot of obviously there's been a lot of theories, a lot of conspiracies. Everybody and their mama running around with their tinfoil hat tightly screwed onto their heads when it comes to this whole Charlie Kirk case. I'm going to be real. Some days I have it on. Some days I take it off. I'm like, nope, not today. I'm putting it right down right there. It's there. But today I'm not wearing it. Right. And but then there are days where you're like, damn it, I gotta screw this mug back on. We are living in some wild times, and there are so many questions that still need to be answered. Okay, I can agree with that 110%. We've already seen how the timeline and the breadcrumbs that they gave to us, that they laid out to us, is all extremely questionable. I think we can all agree on that. I can't sit and look at that information and feel like that's all. Like, it feels like they gave us one side of the page and it's written like in crayon in very big letters, and it's not completely coherent. And you're going, that's it? Really? That's it? And why did you write this in red crayon? Like, for real? There's no other side to this. This is literally what you got. So that's simple. You sure ChatGPT didn't write these text messages? Or did you hire Tyler Perry to write these text messages? Because something seems weird here, man. Something ain't adding up. And I feel like a lot of us feel like that. Okay? I feel like a lot of us don't know what to do, right? With this situation. And how to really proceed forward. Let's be real. Did they actually get the guy? Or is there something else going on here that we don't know about? There's so much that we need to talk about, guys, that I feel like, you know what? I feel like we're going to be getting our Candace Owens on. Yeah. Candace, oh my God, she just drops another bombshell. Owens. I feel like we're going to be cosplaying Candace Owens today. Okay, a little bit, not a lot of it, because I'm not sitting here pointing fingers at anybody. Oh, she most definitely is. Okay, and that's for another conversation here in the future. Okay, but nonetheless, she is definitely pointing fingers now. She is straight up just pointing fingers now. Okay, it's not just her going, okay, I'm speculating. Nope, she's like fingers pointed in this particular direction, not towards Erika, but she's pointing in a direction. And it sounds like she's going after TP US of A. Hamburger indeed. Now, here's the thing. I've already said this in another video, and if you didn't see that video, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I don't know what to tell you. You need to go and check out that video. In fact, let me just do you solid, okay? I'm going to make sure I put that in the chat so you guys can see that video, because I put out that video, and yes, you guys were watching it, okay? Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, let me get this so that you guys can check this out for yourselves, okay? When we get done with this show, all right? Now, I put it in the chat, just so you know. It's in the chat. The link is in the chat. I highly recommend you guys go check that out when you get some time. Candace Owens is coming in hot, okay? And now she's coming out with more information, and it's crazy. But that's, like I said, another Charles Dickens story that we will get into in a little while. One thing is for sure. Erika Kirk is going through some motions. Emotions and motions, okay? She is now the CEO of TP USA, of Turning Point USA. She is the face of Turning Point USA. Now, some may disagree on that. Some may actually argue that and say, no, I don't think she really wants to be the face of Turning Point USA. I don't know. Who else is going to take over? Who else would fit in that slot ever so comfortably other than his wife? Think about it. Now, I know we have been living in some wild times where you got certain people, on the right. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true, where they're saying things, very, very rude things about women and how they should not be in positions of power, how they should just be barefoot and pregnant, stay in the kitchen and all that. And I'm telling you right now, that's a big boo for me. Okay, let me just be real. All right, let women do what they want to do. Y'all know how to multitask better than any man I've ever seen. I'm just gonna say that. Shoot, shout out to y'all. Real talk. I don't know how y'all do it. Okay, I don't know how y'all do it, but y'all do it, and y'all do it well. But what's interesting about this is that she's female. Last I checked, she's female, and I don't mean that as like, is she female? Don't. Candace Owens, don't run with that. Hold on. She is female. But what I'm trying to say is, she is female. Last I checked, and now she's the CEO of a major movement. By the way, it's not even just a company or anything of that sort. It is a full-on movement that keeps on getting bigger. I'm hearing now that there are chapters being TP USA chapters being erected in high schools now. That they are actually bringing this to the schools, to the high schools now. They're trying to get them young. Trying to get them real young. Get the influence early and throw that Bible right in their face, right? Now, I have no opinion, on that. I leave that opinion up to y'all. But one thing is for sure. She is the CEO and is the face of Charlie Kirk's whole dream. Now, I get it. Some people look at that and think that's a little bit weird, feel some type of way about it, think that something sinister behind all of this, that this was one big plot to get rid of Charlie Kirk so that she could rise from the ashes like the phoenix. When in actuality, I don't think that actually happened that way. I don't think that this is a plan, some sinister, nefarious, diabolical plot to have her take over a slot, take over Charlie Kirk's dream so that she can have the spotlight. I don't see it like that. I think, and I know some of y'all are not going to agree, but it is what it is. We are all entitled to our opinions. I think they really do have their guy. But if you've been watching my videos, I've been saying, especially when I'm talking about this whole Charlie Kirk thing and the Tyler Robinson thing and Mr. Twiggs, you will catch clear as day that I say, hey, I think they got their guy, but I don't think they got their own. I don't think they got all the guys. I think that there's more. Yes, I think there's a whole lot more going on here. And I still would love to find out if I'm right or not. Now, do I think that there's some entity, some foreign entity involved from across the pond? Okay, from all the way from the other side of the world involved that inspired Tyler Robinson to climb up on top of that roof, take aim and pull that trigger? I don't know. It's still a possibility, though. Wouldn't you say that's still a possibility? At least I do. I think it is a possibility that somebody out there, some higher up or some organization, some radicalized group, domestic or foreign, inspired or bankrolled or threatened, maybe, Tyler Robinson into getting up to the top of that roof and pulling the trigger. I do think that. I really don't think that he operated alone, y'all. Think about this for a second. As soon as he pulled that trigger, even before he pulled that trigger, we're going to talk about that in a second here as well. But before when he pulled that trigger, I'm sorry, but right after he pulled that trigger, suddenly you got people out there going, get me. Get me. I did it. Please take my life. Remember that guy? I already said this in another video, but remember Larry David? Rotund Larry David. Remember that guy? Instantly, as soon as Charlie Kirk is being rushed to the hospital, this guy's going, me, take me, right? Then the other guy with the airsoft rifle down the street, could have been mistaken identity or a mistake, which is weird because if you got a guy walking down the street with an airsoft rifle and you are law enforcement or armed forces, period, wouldn't you know the difference between a airsoft rifle and an actual real rifle? Now, I know some can look really real, but that one had like this weird thing at the tip of the muzzle of this rifle, which clearly would state that it was an airsoft rifle. Yet he still got arrested or detained. I'm sorry. He didn't get arrested, but he got detained. Why, you may ask? Why? There was a lot of weird things that were going on throughout that whole thing as soon as that trigger was pulled. But let's talk about that moment right before the trigger was pulled. Nanoseconds, it seems like, from the moment that trigger was pulled. Remember the conversation that a particular individual, I think his name was Hunter Kozak, I think, was having a conversation with Charlie Kirk, talking about trans assailants, talking about mass tragedies with trans assailants, and all of a sudden, bang! It just seemed very on the nose. I'm still not fully convinced that Tyler Robinson operated alone. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to throw other now presumed innocent individuals under the bus. I'm not here to try to be like, go attack them, make their lives a living hell. Hold on. I'm not trying to do that, okay? Let them live and let law enforcement figure it all out. but there's something about it that just doesn't seem right. And I feel like I'm not the only one that feels this. I still cannot let go of the thought that this guy goes up on the microphone, talks about trans assailants with mass tragedies involved in mass pew-pewing, for lack of a better term. We got to use these code words. It's annoying, but you get what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, bang, boom goes the dynamite. Explain that to me. I still truly feel like, could that have been, I hate the another lack of better terms, a trigger word? I get he's out here, he's done his interviews and all that stuff, and I mean, for the most part, I believe him. But at the same time, there's another part of me that's like, that seems so. It seems too perfect, too ironical. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't it seem a little bit ironic? Or am I the only one that thinks that? Now, he's been cleared. Sure, fine. That's fine. That's fine. But at the same time, it just seems so weird. You're talking about trans pew-pewings, mass pew-pewings, I'm sorry. And then Charlie Kirk loses his life. The dude who's actually alleged of pulling the trigger from that rooftop, he's dating a man that's in transition. And this all has to do, allegedly, with his stance with trans rights and how he feels about Charlie Kirk and what Charlie Kirk stands for. And he doesn't like his narrative and his rhetoric. But he pulls the trigger right at the moment that this guy's having a conversation with Charlie Kirk about mass tragedies done at the hands of trans individuals. Does that not seem a little weird to you? Now, I know that there's been a lot of speculation about groypers, and I'm seeing the chat Zizians. Okay, I don't know any of these who's it's, what's it's, Fugazians. Okay, I don't know any of these mother-loving groups. Okay, I've only been gotten savvy to the Zizians and the Mizians and the Nizians and the groypers. All right, because of this situation. But I wouldn't know any of this stuff at this. Like, if somebody walked by, like before Charlie Kirk lost his life, and they said, "Yeah, those damn Zizians," you know what I'm saying? The Zizians. I'd be like, "Yeah, Kazoon-tight, what do you say? Bless you. Do you need a tissue? I have no idea what that is. What's a Zizzy? What was a Zazians? What was that again? Say what? What are they? Excuse me? Word? Never heard that in my life. What the hell is a groip? Is that a fish? What is a groiper? Is that a new fish out there? You know how the ecosystem is real jacked up. And you know for a fact they be bumping uglies. Okay, everybody bumping uglies, even the damn fish. Maybe it's a new breed of fish. What the hell is a groiper? Is it the kind of fish that's real bony? If you cook it, it's real bony. You just got, bones in your teeth. Or is it kind of like salmon? The hell is a groiper? The only reason why I know about any of that crap is because of what happened here. Crazy. And then what is the origin? Who went out of their way to say, today we will be calling all of ourselves groipers? Yes. We are now called the groipers. Or, yes, we will be calling ourselves Zizians. Yes, Zizians. What the hell is that? Who came up with those words? Think about that for a second. From this day forward, we will be calling ourselves Caca-Poo-Poo. Yes, the Caca-Poo-Poos. Yes, we join together. What is that? The hell is that? Who came up with those? Must have been from a bong hit. Right after a bong hit. Oh, man. Dude, I got a great idea, man. It's going to be crazy. Oh, my God. I'm so high. We're going to be calling ourselves groypers because it's kind of like fish, man. Yeah. Like, what does that come? Where's it come from, man? What's the origin story? Yes, the caca poo poos. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We shall be calling ourselves the titty cacas. You know? Where is this coming from? I digress. I really digressed. But again, please make that make sense. No disrespect to anybody that's out here that's a groper or a Ziazian. But at the same time, where did they come from? Where did this come from? This came out of nowhere, y'all. I don't get it. But you know, back in the day, back in my day, they would just call themselves, you know, a group. You know? It'd be simple. Groypers, the fuck? Zizians, the fuck? I mean, okay. All right. Where did this come from? Okay. Just asking a very simple question. The origin story better be good. Okay. It better be like a group of turtles. You know, there was a car accident and there was like toxic goo and these turtles ran into it and fell into this toxic goo and now they got ninja skills. Okay, they grew up to human size and now they live in the sewer protecting and fighting crime like Batman's. Okay, it better be a good origin story. It better be freaking phenomenal. Okay, and they're fighting this crazy henchman, you know, evil doer called Shredder. Okay, and he called Shredder because he's covered in nothing but blades. I digress. Let me get this super chat. Let me get this super chat here really quick. Beautiful messy ball. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Did you hear Diligent say George Zinn claimed he wasn't at 9/11 or any of those otherwise events? Probably say he was at probably what? Probably say he was at during a jail visit. Okay. No, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to hear that one yet. We'll get to it, or you know, if we get time after we check this interview out, we'll get into it. Okay. But at the same time, it's okay, beautiful messy ball. I get what you're saying. Yes, that guy, the first guy, Rotund Larry David, was claiming to be at 9/11. He was claiming to, make threats to the Boston Marathon and all that stuff. And clearly, it's a guy who's unhinged and not right in the head. Period. Point blank. Okay. But nonetheless, when it comes to all these groups and all that, there's been a lot of speculation about their connection to the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. But there hasn't been any solid evidence that the feds have actually put out here. Let's not forget all the information, the text messages, the breadcrumbs that they laid out for us to see, which wasn't really enough. It really wasn't enough. It's not enough. I'm going to be real. It's not enough, y'all. At least for me to all of a sudden go, oh, yeah, okay, so he did that. All by his damn self. He did it all by his damn self. Nobody, no, don't worry about it. He did it all by his damn self. Now we believe it. He had a vendetta to fill, and he was doing this as a love letter to his trans boyfriend or girlfriend. Right? That's all. Makes sense. Nope. It doesn't. And no, Santos, I agree. It is not enough. We need more information. Too many things don't make sense. Now, here's the thing. Erika Kirk, a lot of people have been side-eyeing her as well. Is it right? Well, depends on what shoe you're putting on today. Some people think, and side-eyeing the hell out of her for every move she makes, everything that she does right now. I do think it's very interesting that she went straight into the CEO slot very quickly. It seemed as if there was no time to grieve, no time to mourn. It was just straight business, business, business. The memorial service was very odd to me. I'm going to be real. Very odd. And I know some people getting their fee-fees about that. Like, she was remarkable. She's been amazing holding it down, holding back all those tears, and being a strong woman in this hard time. I get it. I get that part. I fully get that part. I'm not knocking that. I'm just looking at the timeline. And the timeline is a little bit weird. Am I saying that she's doing something wrong? No. It's just weird. That's all. She has the right to grieve. Absolutely. She has the right to grieve the way she wants to grieve. And maybe in her mind, just saying this, maybe in her mind, she thinks the only way to push forward and to be stronger and to mourn is to celebrate his life and celebrate his message by doubling down even more. That's what I see. Yes, the movement's been weird. But at the same time, if this is how she wants to grieve, this is how she wants to grieve. I mean, let me say this too. Wouldn't you rather see this than her at a local bar, drowning her sorrows in alcohol and making terrible, terrible, terrible mistakes? Think about that for a second. Or being absolutely reckless out here. I mean, the hug with JD Vance, that was not the greatest, not the greatest. But again, or going off and, I don't know, eating Haagen-Dazs till she can't eat no more. Go and become a recluse, hiding out. Just saying. What do you expect somebody to do? I don't think that there is a protocol or a color by numbers breakdown on how to mourn someone's death. Just saying. Not everybody has that breakdown. Everybody mourns differently. Some people will be at the local watering hole, drinking their sorrows away, drinking themselves damn blind, right? Where there's other ones that will start like, I'm doing a marathon. I'm going to train and do a marathon, because they're literally running away from the mourning, trying to run away from the sorrow and the pain. Some people try to drink it away. Some people try to run away from it, literally, physically run away from it. Some people bury themselves into work even harder, even more, take on more tasks than they can actually handle because they don't want to think about what happened. We all deal with mourning completely different than the next. I don't get why people have been going in on her on that part. The hug, though, was insane. All right? The hug was insane. I'm just going to say it. But does that mean that she's out here bumping uglies with JD Vance? Hell no. Just was wild. So I can only imagine what she's going through, but somebody had to take the slot of Charlie Kirk's CEO position so that they can continue doing business. And I know that sucks, but that is how it is. That really is how it is. Real talk. So now she's coming into this interview. Yeah, that hug was that hug was insane. I'm sorry, that hug was insane. Okay, it was insane. You can't not look at that hug and not go instantly. In my mind, I was like, I'd be dead. I'm sorry. I said it in a short and I said it in a long formatted video. I said my life would be snatched out of my body. I wouldn't even be, if I was JD Vance, I wouldn't even be able to walk one step towards that podium. My life would have been sucked out of my body, gone. Okay? And I know all you other fellas can concur. All right? Gone. All right? Or it would be a very long, heated conversation on the ride home that night. I can't believe you did that. You my husband. You ain't with her, kind of thing. Yeah, I know. Baby, baby, I didn't know. Baby, I didn't know. Baby, I didn't know. Baby, I didn't. Baby, I didn't mean it, man. I was just riding with I was just rolling with it, man. I'm sorry, baby. You know how it is. I can't believe you did that. And she wearing the leather pants. And you have her hand on her hips. The hell you doing? You about to dip with her something? It would have been bad. Fellas, you already know. Ladies, you know that too, because the fellas would be... we would be fuming. Okay? We'd be mad. Baby, what's up? Why that, man? Right in front of me, the disrespect. Baby.
I know. I just felt it was just in the moment, and I just didn't know what to do. Honey, I just didn't know what to do.
You should have stepped away. That's what I said. That's what you should have done. Love shouldn't have made you do that, girl. The hell's wrong with you? I'm going out with the fellas tonight. Bye.
No, not with the fellas.
You know? Pretty bad. Okay? Pretty bad. It wasn't great. But at the same time, here it is. She's a very huggy person. Seems like she's very affectionate. I can see why the internet's reacting to that stuff for sure. Do I think she's trying to do the hibbity dip? No, not at all. It's just an etiquette that I think was a little bit too far, especially for a man who is absolutely spoken for, is married, and is also the vice president of the United States of America. So of course I see how people are running with that like crazy. She is, well, one, she's white. I'm sorry. She's white. She's Republican. She's MAGA through and through. He is too. What? Republican. MAGA till he die. Right? So I could see why people are going with it and running with it, because his wife is not white. So of course they're going, no. You must be with the white woman. So everybody's speculation wheels start turning when they see a hug like that. It's just bad timing, y'all. Bad timing. Not the greatest look. Eek indeed. Okay? Hold on real quick. There's a pic of her hugging a woman the same way. Yes. We've discussed this before. Yes. But at the same time, I think that there's a moment to hug somebody like that and a moment to hug somebody and not to hug somebody like that. Period. The woman, cool. You guys are friends, whatever. It's a hug. But then there's the other one. That's a grown-ass, married-ass man. There are certain things that should not be happening. That is a hands-off situation. Real talk. Just saying. Because I even said maybe it's a Christian hug, but the Christian hug does not hug like that. We're one with Christ, aren't we? No, you're not hugging somebody like this. If you're one with Christ, you're just not. We read the Bible together today. We are so close. No, you're not doing the hand behind the neck, behind the head, not a damn hand anywhere. And you put the ass out and you're doing this with one arm, or you're doing the side hug like this. We buddies. You know what I mean? God bless you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Butt out hug. You're not doing this whole pelvis to pelvis, body to body. You're not doing that. You're doing that with your wife. Like I said, snatched, life would be gone. Like I just got unplugged from the Matrix. Real talk. Just flopping to the ground like a jellyfish. Skeletal structure ripped out from my body. It's just skin falling to the ground.
Oh my God.
Gone. And I think all of us would agree on that. We all would not be breathing. That look on your partner's face saying, you know, for a fact she's sitting there, or they are saying, I know where you sleep. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Okay. But it's okay. Everything's fine that I know of. And now she's here on this interview, and we have got to take a look at this. Okay. We have got to take a look at this situation. All right. So she did this interview. And what's crazy about this, before we go into this interview, let me just show you what people are saying in the chats. Okay. People are going, some people are sitting there saying like, oh, she's a remarkable spirit-filled woman. Her anointing and gracious courage is remarkable, right? Some people are saying that on the internet. Others are basically saying, well, let's be real. Some are saying Erika is one of the fakest crying, with Erika with some of the fakest crying you'll ever see. This is all a WWE script. Real talk. Sorry, I'm not even showing it to you. What the hell am I doing? Look at this. This is somebody who's saying that as a tweet. There are a lot of people that are literally saying that this interview is fake. I think, I'm going to be real. I think this is the realest I've seen. I know that's going to surprise some of y'all. Because I know some of y'all see this and they're like, But I truly think that there are some real moments here. Okay, I got to say this. I'm going to say it anyway. There is a moment where I felt like it was a Tammy Faye. Like it was screaming Tammy Faye a little bit. If you don't know who Tammy Faye is, look it up. There's a whole movie now with her, about her. What's her name? Jessica Chastain did a whole movie about her, right? But people were like, I don't know, for some odd reason, it was screaming Tammy Faye. For sure. And just moments. Tammy Faye Baker. Yes. Sorry, not just Tammy Faye Baker. Okay. Look her up, Google it. You'll see for yourself. Okay. Because if you really think about it, they were, in the realm of televangelists. Really. To a certain extent. Now, you already know how I feel about Charlie Kirk for the most part, as far as his message and what he put out there. Right. But some people would say they were kind of on that realm of televangelists. No disrespect, but that's what the vibe is. And you're going to see it here in this interview too. All right. So you'll be picking up what I'm putting down here in just a minute. We're going to be breaking this down because there's some moments in here that are very, very strange to me. This is, if I'm correct, this is not the whole interview. But there are moments here that we need to take a look at and see for ourselves. I appreciate you rocking with me, guys. Seriously, it really means a lot. Actually, before we go into that, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place right now. Not trying to be, but if you guys can, please go check out my GoFundMe. I do have I am trying to raise some money for a live, like basically a remote live rig. This rig will allow me to go anywhere in the world. I could go in the middle of the damn ocean and be live. The reason why I want to do this is because, of course, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. There's a lot of protests. There's a lot of demonstrations. There's a lot of events that are going on in and outside of where the areas the area that I live. And I want to be able to bring those experiences and those things straight to you, or get to your area, get to your place, your spot, and interview people in your area and all that. There's a lot that I want to be able to bring to the conversation on our show and bring more dynamics into the show. And also, just hanging out with me, going with me to certain events, that kind of thing, seeing those things being covered, interviewing people right there, boots on the ground type thing. So if you can, okay, that would be awesome. If you can support, that would be amazing. I'm just going to share this with y'all so far. I would love to get like into the 80s. We're like at 66%, which is amazing. I am still shocked about this. Okay. I know some of you guys like how it is. I mean, this format, the way we do it right now, is not going to change anything. It's just this is a new added piece that I want to bring to the show. And there's so much going on. There's so many events that are coming up in this holiday time that I want to bring you guys along for. And then, of course, exclusive interviews right there, like impromptu, right there on the streets, on the side of the road, that kind of thing. There's a lot that I want to be able to bring to the thing. Also, Rose City, I would be able to see your comments for sure. There is a whole thing where you bring your phone. Your phone will be. That's why I'm trying to get this rig, because I'd be able to see all your comments on my phone. I can see all that, conversate with you guys while this rig is running the camera, right? So it takes my really nice camera like this, okay? And it allows me to have a very, very professional look. Long story short, and it allows me to be a little bit more hands-free, where I can go around, interview people, so on and so forth. So again, if you can, that would be greatly appreciated. All right. I understand the world is insane right now. I get it. But like I said, if you're able to do $2, then $2. If everyone, like, for example, if everyone donated $2 right now, we would surpass the goal right now. You see what I'm saying? So again, no pressure. I understand we're all trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. But if you are able to contribute, that would be greatly appreciated. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's in the description box down below. Have at it if you want. If not, I totally understand. Okay. But I would love to get into the 60s or into the 80s today. That would be phenomenal. Okay. But go check it out. All right. But again, let me get this beautiful messy ball before we go into this interview. Y'all, I know times are tight for many with the shutdown, but if you can support Pascal and can't afford to give financially, please share the link. That works too. Yeah, share the link too. A share can go a long way. It can definitely do that. He won't ask. He's too humble. Yeah, I mean, I also feel weird even asking for funds. You know what I'm saying? I always feel weird asking for that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. But it's not a cheap rig. It's not like it's just a couple $100 and I can just keep it moving. It is a very big piece of equipment, but it will definitely seriously take everything up to a whole other level. And I could really use the help. So again, if you can contribute, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, I'm only asking for about $2K. It's like 2.2 because there's shipping and handling, that kind of thing. So because the rig is a little over 2, and then added for taxes and shipping the doggone thing to me. So again, if you can, that'd be awesome. Okay. It's almost like Starlink, Holly, just really quick. It's almost like Starlink. Although I'm thinking of getting a Starlink as well, just in case, for another option. But basically, it's the same thing that a lot of these news companies use, like Fox News, CNN, all that. They use the same type of rig. They may have a $30,000 more worth more of equipment on them, but it's basically a consolidated, smaller version of that. So I can send a signal anywhere in the world, and it bounces off of multiple satellites, where I can be literally, like I said, in the middle of the ocean, and I can still go live with y'all, right? I can be in places where there's barely any reception and still get reception, right? But this allows me to go to places to cover protests, events, anywhere in the world, interviewing people randomly. You see what I'm saying? If I get an opportunity to interview somebody and we could just do it inside of like a diner or something like that, I can literally sit down with somebody and stream live right there. And it's a little book bag. I'm not kidding. It's a little book bag where I could just plug cameras like this, not a cell phone, but an actual really nice pro camera, and go live. So you'll get this kind of quality that you see right here out there in the streets. It's pretty amazing. And some of the biggest streamers in the world use this same type of rig. I'm not kidding. Okay. So again, it is a spot, or it is a rig that will take everything that I'm doing to something so brand new. And like I said, take that show to that whole other level, right? So again, it'd be amazing. So if you can, check out the link in the description box down below, or it's pinned to the top of the chat. And again, like I said, you can even see the rig that I'm trying to buy. That's literally it. You can see the rig that I'm looking to buy. So you know that it's legit, you know that it's real. And when I get to that goal, I'll be buying it. Okay. And yes, I mean, it would be huge. Like I said, going to red carpet events with me, and I'm interviewing people live right there on the red carpet, live, one take. You're hanging out with me with that. Going to other places, like, for example, tomorrow, if everything goes according to plan, I'm not going live for this, but I'm going to be interviewing people at food banks tomorrow. I'm being dead ass. I'd rather do it live, but I won't have the rig. I don't have the rig yet. You see what I'm saying? So again, things like that is what I'm aiming for. Going to certain places, bringing the story to you guys, going to the story and bringing it to you guys live. So, of course, like I said, I get we are all fighting today, every day, right now. But if you have a few bucks to give, it's pinned to the top of the chat. I don't ask for much. I really don't. So if you can, that would be amazing. Okay. Urban says, I use you live to live stream paintball. Super dope, man. It's next level. Thank you. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The live rig is exactly the rig that I'm trying to get. Dead ass. Okay. Just so you know. All right. Just so you know. So again, enough begging, but if you can, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, that rig is dope. And yes, I'd be able to go anywhere. And like I said, the pros use it. CNN, Fox News, local news, all that. If you notice, you're seeing less vans with satellites on them and stuff like that. You see less vans now. Everyone's pulling up in these SUVs and stuff because they're using this exact same rig, except they have like, $15,000 cameras and stuff like that. These news companies, but it's literally that. And it would just take things to a whole other level. So again, if you can, go to the GoFundMe, contribute if you can. The link is down below. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Please and thank you. For the two just said, yeah, $2.68 is 2K divided by the viewer count, which was, at that time, 746. So yeah, it'd be like less than $3 if everyone contributed right here. You see what I'm saying? And I would be at my goal like that, which would be phenomenal. So again, thank you so much for the quick math. Let me get this too. Miss Rue, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. You have kept me informed between my home health patients. Thank you, Pascal. Well, thank you so much for the support. That really, really means the world to me. Thank you so much. Okay. Batteries are included. There's actually a big battery that if you charge it full, it goes live for like 8 hours. Or you can go live for like 8 hours. Continuous 8-hour stream. Wireless. It's freaking dope. And it's something I've been wanting to get for the longest time. So again, if you can get it, help me get it. Woo! We are going to be out here, okay? We going to be out here, okay? Neil, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. But anyway, think about it. No pressure. If you can, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right. But we're going to get straight into this conversation. All right. Yes, it is dope. It is dope. But you don't understand. I'm gonna straight up nerd out. I'm gonna geek out so hard. Okay. You have no idea. And like I said, I want to bring this is more than just a fun little piece of electronic. This is something that I think it will be really amazing to bring to the show in an aspect that I think will be phenomenal. And yeah, we're almost there, which is amazing. So I can't wait till we get to that goal. Contribute if you can. Let's get into this interview, shall we? Let's get this thing moving.
Look at that.
He lived for those moments when he just walked down and was throwing the hats. And students, he loved Gen Z and young people. And there's just this sea of endless crowds of people. You couldn't even see the end. He was throwing out hats, and then it's just, yeah, still processing it.
Okay, first off, I'm going to skip this part because we're trying to skip all the mayhem, if that makes any sense. But let me explain something to you really quick. People are really reacting to Mikey McCoy being in this interview right out the gate. They're like, why is this dude in here? Now, from what we've understood and what we've heard out here in these internet streets, his father said that he was covered in red, covered in blood, that Mikey McCoy was there. He was boots on the ground. He was there at ground zero for sure. But there was claims that he was covered in red when that actually was not true at all. So a lot of people are looking at the situation thinking that, well, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of people are side-eyeing Mikey McCoy now too, because he's also the chief of staff for Turning Point USA and for Charlie Kirk. So there's a lot of people that are side-eyeing him right now because they're like, yo, you are lying. You lied about being covered in red when in fact, in the videos, you see him, because I can't show you the video. He's right next to him when Charlie Kirk gets hit. So I can't show you that video. But he's quick to get up and he's standing there and he runs around and he's on the phone that fast, like that. Right? So I can see why some people are side-eyeing the hell out of Mikey McCoy. But at the same time, it's messed up that they said he was covered in red when he wasn't even covered in red. That's the problem. That's why people are side-eyeing the hell out of this dude and his phone moves, because he was quick to be on his phone as soon as the bang happened. He just started running, which is crazy. So again, something to think about.
Charlie Kirk has been shot.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
Was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I had my phone and I see the video come in of him flinging out the hats. And I said, Mom, look, it started. So we saw the hats being flung. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. When I moved my mom, I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me.
By the way, I want to point something out as well. We're going to hear something here too. He's not wearing a bulletproof vest. He's not wearing a bulletproof vest. Just so you know, he's not wearing a bulletproof vest at all. She talks about this here in a little bit, which is crazy. Okay, let's continue.
Called me within seconds.
I called Erika. I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot. Get the kids. Get security. Get the kids. Get the kids. He's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center. I just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot. Called our security. Yeah. Unbelievable nightmare.
Skipping
which is
ahead.
in prayer. And so we are
Sorry
going to
about
do
that,
that
guys.
right now. We're going to pause and offer our prayer. We hope you join along. However, and to whomever you pray, I hope in this moment that you can pray for Charlie Kirk.
There was a moment there where people thought Charlie would survive.
There were so many things going on at that one moment. It was so hard to actually know and hear what was going on because you're getting phone calls in and out, and hindsight, the way the bullet hit him, he died instantaneously.
He was pronounced dead.
He died on the scene.
Oh, he definitely was gone. I'm sorry, guys. I got to cut in and out for fair use and all that crap. But for a fact, I saw the footage. I know a lot of y'all did too. I saw the video live with you guys, and you will see, you could see if you go back to that video or the live that we were covering this breaking news. I mean, it's bad. I was like, he's not coming back from that. There's no way. Like he was erased right when that bullet entered his body. He was gone. At least for that time. Then they say that he came to for a second, and then of course he perished. But still, at the same time, it's vicious. It's vicious. So still tough. It's tough. Doesn't matter if I agreed with what he had to say or not. Just seeing that kind of footage, crazy. Here's another thing too. We're going to be discussing that here in just a little bit. Nicole, you said I wonder if he saw it coming. I don't know if he saw that coming, but I think he knew. I think he all had a feeling like something bad was coming. But I think that it was inevitable for the likes of somebody like him, especially when he was getting threats. He and his family were getting threats. She talks about that here as well. So again, I don't know if he saw the actual bullet going towards him. No. But I think he always knew or had a feeling that he could lose his life at any moment because he was already getting threats, right?
But I'm so glad he didn't suffer. Excuse me. I'm so glad he didn't suffer. No one deserves to suffer. But him of all people. So he literally blinked and probably thought he was raptured and looked around and was like, where's everybody else? He blinked and he was with the Lord.
And you wanted to see Charlie immediately and came up. Take us through that.
We landed in Utah, went straight to the hospital. When you walked in, everyone was it was a scene from just a horror movie. Everyone is so rattled to the core. Officers, law enforcement, hospital workers, our team, everyone is just shaken. And we get into the room. One of the law enforcement guys comes in. It's very sweet, but what do you say to someone whose husband just was assassinated so publicly? He said, I've been doing this for 30-some years. He said, I will never tell you that you cannot see your husband. He said, but I, in my professional opinion, think that you should wait to see him once he's at the mortuary. Because I don't think you want to see him like this. And the room got quiet because half the room knew it's probably a good idea. And the other half of the room was like, there is no way she's listening to you right now. And I responded back to him and I said, with all due respect, sir, I said, I want to see what they did to my husband. And I want to give him a kiss because I didn't get to give him a kiss this morning. And I said the same thing to the doctor. When the doctor came in, I said, I want to see my husband. He said, I'll make sure that happens. And I did. And I got to see him. And when we walked into that room, he still looks so alive. I mean, because he just, and I'm just so glad I saw him, because you know this when you see someone pass at the mortuary. They never look the same when they're at the mortuary. They have this awful makeup and they're cold, and he was still warm and his eyes were slightly open. You know, it was so powerful, Jesse. He had this smirk on his face. It was so sweet. He had this smirk on his face where it meant three things to me. First, that he died doing what he loved. The second was that he was at peace. And I gave him a kiss. Gave him a kiss. And then before I left the room, which was one of the hardest moments of my life, was leaving him in that room. Excuse me. I looked at him and I thought to myself, that smirk to me is that look of, you thought you could stop what I've built. You thought that you could end this vision, this movement, this revival. You thought you could do that by murdering me. You got my body. You didn't get my soul.
Do you know how many transgender?
So, of course, we already know about this part here. So I'm going to roll back a little bit, or roll ahead a little bit. I mean, we've all heard this now, right? That she was like, yeah, you really think this is going to stop his message, right? That's the vibe that I'm getting here. That it's like, hey, I'm not going to let this situation stop the message that he was trying to put out here. And see, this is why I could see why she became CEO and how she was so quick to do that first speech. Not the WWE, John Cena, not the fireworks and the pyrotechnics thing. I'm talking about when she was in Charlie Kirk's show's set and was doing that, you know what I mean? Doing that speech, right? And she's like, we're not going to stop. We're not going to do, his message is still going to live on. Just because he lost his life does not mean that they stifled and snuffed out his voice and his message, right? So again, that's why I think she did what she did, which makes sense. Now, I can understand I understand why people are side-eyeing it too. Like I said, it's the timing of everything. But at the same time, she's now saying that here too. Like, you think that his message, his spirit, what he's put out here is going to suddenly just stop because you took his body out? Hell to the no. We're going to keep pushing, right?
Video was everywhere. How do you process that?
I never saw the video. I never will see it. I never want to see it. There's certain things you see in your life that you can never unsee. There's certain things you see in your life that mark your soul forever. I don't want my husband's public assassination to be something I ever see. I don't want my kids to ever see that.
Hold on, real quick. So yeah, I don't blame her. I wouldn't want my kids. You know what I mean? If they were my kids and this whole, like if this was if I were in her situation, I wouldn't want the kids to see any of that footage ever. But unfortunately, eventually those kids are going to go. They are going to see it, and most likely it will be against their will, because somebody going to send it to them. Somebody going to be a jerk. Real talk. People are buttholes. They are. People can be really bad out here. So there's a possibility where, even Erika Kirk could get a text message and she opens it up and there it is. You see what I'm saying? So people are rude, people are definitely rude. Somebody just said this and I want to pull this up, and because honestly, this is the reason why we're having this show, because there are people that feel some type of way about Erika Kirk and how she's doing these, how she's been maneuvering. So Miss Catherine says, cool, no problem. The fact she isn't focusing on being at home with her children is telling. The lack of empathy for the kids screams narcissism, among other red flags. Well, here's the thing. I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I get it. I can see how that could be. You're not the only person that feels that way, right? But at the same time, she might be thinking literally what she just said. Maybe she just feels like this is not going to stop them from doing their message, from sending their message. You see what I'm saying? And here's the other thing too. Who's to say that the kids aren't with her every step of the way? You really think that, again, we don't know what she's doing when the cameras are off, right? And I guess we don't know what she's doing when the cameras are off, if that makes any sense. But still, at the same time, she's still got to make money. She's still got to get things going. Like I said, some people cope by hiding off in a dark room and just crying themselves to sleep, sleeping through the pain, through the grieving process. Some people are at the bars getting drunk or going out there getting high, right? So again, we can't sit here and judge how she's grieving or how she's handling things, because there is no, like I said, paint by numbers guidebook to grieving. I think she's trying to do the best she can and is trying to just live her damn life. But now she has a motive. Now she has not a motive, but motivation now. And she's basically saying, you really think that these evildoers are going to stop Charlie Kirk's message? No. Now I'm going to go even harder for him. You think that you silenced him? No. It's now about to get even louder. And that's exactly what's happening. They're expanding TPUSA. They've now have more buildings. They are now starting to start chapters in schools now. TPUSA chapters in schools, high schools now. Like, it's insane. They literally turned this thing all the way up to 11 and ripped the damn knob off, right? Now, whether you agree with that or not, or like that or not, that's up to you. But those are just facts. So again, this hasn't stopped anything. This is only going to get louder. So this is going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, y'all. Definitely. Okay.
And for people who actually enjoy watching that, which is quite literally sick, what if that was your father or your brother or your sister? There's a perspective shift there. We're human. Life is fragile. And there is so much beauty in this world. Why would you waste any portion of your life looking at something so evil?
Charlie was answering a question about trans violence when he was murdered. Do you think that was a coincidence?
I don't believe in coincidences.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
Hold on. I got to roll that back. I am sorry. Okay. Oof. Wow. Hold on. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Some people are thinking, this is not very genuine. Some people think that this is very genuine, right? This is, some people are saying that these are all fake tears. Some people are saying she is so strong for doing this. Someone just said, Cole just said this in the super chat. Thank you so much. This is a 1-year anniversary interview, not 2 months. I understand what you're saying. I just think it's an interview. It's just interesting. I don't know. It's just interesting. Really? No. Like it feels. I don't know how to explain it, because there's moments where I feel her. Real talk. There's moments where I feel her, and then at the same time, there are moments where it feels a little performative. But at the same time, like, I don't know her. I've never really watched anything where she has spoken. I don't know. I don't know if this is how she really is. I don't know. So who am I to judge, right? Who am I to say anything? I can see why people are looking at it and side-eyeing it. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just, like I said, just it's interesting. It's a very interesting interview. Let's continue. I rolled it back. Did I roll back long enough?
Do you think they've caught your husband?
No, I want to go back, because she says, I don't believe in coincidence.
Trans violence when he was murdered.
Right here is a moment that is a very big freaking deal. And I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. This is crazy, because this echoes what I was just saying a second ago. Okay? This is crazy. Let me roll just back a little bit.
Charlie was answering a question
right
about
here.
Trans violence when he was murdered. Do you think that was a coincidence?
I don't believe in coincidences.
What did I say? What did I say earlier? This is the part where it gets thicker than a snicker. Okay? This is the part where I'm like, okay, now she's saying some things. Okay? Real talk. She says, I don't believe in coincidences. He says the interview or the question that was asked before Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, before Charlie Kirk lost his life. Do you think that was a coincidence? And she says, I don't believe in coincidences. Yes, Mimi, diggity damn indeed. What did I say earlier? Something doesn't seem right with that whole conversation, that interview, that part. He talks about trans pewers. He talks about the mass tragedy, dealing with assailants that happen to be trans. And then milliseconds later, he loses his life right at that same time that they're talking about that. And the person who pulls the trigger happens to be involved in a relationship with someone who happens to be trans. So it's very odd. I still think that's odd. Even though that the guy that asked the question is out here free, okay? He still asked that question, and then the guy lost his. It's not like the guy went up and said, okay, all right, Cowboys or 49ers, bang. No. This was, how do you feel about trans assailants in mass tragedies kind of conversation? And then bang. It seems almost too on the nose, right? So then she says, I don't believe in coinkydinkies. What do you think she's saying? I feel like she thinks that guy has something to do with this as well. Come on now. Come on. We could be absolutely wrong. He could have nothing to do with this. True talk. Real talk. He could have nothing to do with this. But at the same time, even wifey is sitting here going, I'm side-eyeing the hell out of that dude, because it seemed too perfect, too on the nose. And I freaking agree. Let's continue. She says more here, and this is where it gets weird. Weird again.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
Here we go. Hear her answer.
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected.
Uh-huh.
I trust our team.
There's other theories.
Hold on. Time out. Does that answer the question? Okay. Questione. Did that answer the question? I don't think so. I trust my team. I trust our team. That's it? He asked you a direct question. Do you believe that they got the guy? I trust our team. That's very vague. Because she could literally go, I believe that they got their guy. I believe he's the bad guy. You realize that everybody and their mama's nitpicking every nuanced thing that happens in this interview. Just like people are going, oh, it's fake tears. It's fake. To the point of people sitting there going, oh, no. She's not genuine. To the point where they're going to look at interview or answers to an interview, a very scripted interview, by the way. And they're going to nitpick the hell out of that too. Not only do you think it was a coincidence that he lost his life right at that moment during that very specific question, and she says, I don't believe in coincidences. Then the next question, do you think they got the guy? I trust our team. The hell does that mean? The hell does that mean? That doesn't answer anything. Now, let me just peep you on game real quick, all right? When it comes to interviews like this, the likes of this, all right? Jesse Waters is his name, right? These questions were already vetted to her. These questions were already given to her before the interview even started. So she's not getting any questions that are curveballs. You got to remember also, this guy was friends with Charlie Kirk as well. Good friends with the Kirk family. So, of course, he's not here to try to make her look like Boo Boo the Fool or try to make her look, trying to shock her with a curveball question. She knew exactly what these questions were going to be before she sat down with him. She had an opportunity to answer that question differently, and she did not. Why? Why did she not answer that question directly? You got to understand, people are going to be asking that question. All of these kinds of interviews are scripted. The one, at least high profile type stuff like this, high profile. Most definitely, they get the questions way before they even sit down with the likes of the reporter, for the most part. Sometimes you get, those kind of interviews like 60 Minutes with Trump, right? Trump ain't reading those questions. So they're just shooting from the hip. He ain't got time to read those questions so that he's properly vetted before the interview. F all that. He's like, man, I got things to do. Okay. And from my understanding, he's not a big reader, but still, no matter what, that's impromptu. Shooting from the hip, right? But her, especially with something so big and everybody side-eyeing this situation, she could have answered that differently. She could have just said yes. Literally, it could have been one word, 3 letters, Y-E-S, yes. She didn't. I believe our team. I trust our team. And now everybody's in a tizzy because of how she reacted and answered that question. It's very interesting. Also, here's a really quick thing. People are wondering about those the blang blang on her hands, on her fingers. Apparently, those are Charlie's rings. So she's wearing Charlie's rings, and apparently, the M and the G are the names, the initials for their daughters. Just so you know. So I don't know the names of their daughters. No disrespect, but I'm assuming one is M and one is G. So he had a lot of blang. So she's rocking his rings. No, she's not just rocking wealth just for the sake of rocking wealth. Okay. She is wearing those rings in obviously remembrance of her late husband. Okay, let's move on.
He's swirling around about Charlie's assassination.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
When everything happened, my phone died. It became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end. I've intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point. And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them, how does this happen? How does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to relive that every single day. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die from cancer. He was assassinated. And the difference between this and previous assassinations in this country is there was no social media. There was no AI. I can tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider and think about whatever you put online, because it's going to impact his kids in the future.
You know what I want to know now that she's saying, like, now that I'm hearing this now, I instantly think about Candace Owens. I know she is like literally what's been going on with everything with this Charlie Kirk stuff. I instantly have Candace Owens living rent free in my mind. I'm not kidding, because of everything. But I feel like this is a straight up statement to Candace Owens. And I'm curious about what she's going to say today about what's being said or what this interview brought. Because she clearly is saying that. Maybe she's not saying it solely to Candace Owens, but she most definitely, for show, is saying something. And Candace Owens is in that group as well, right? I just think that's interesting. Hold on.
I want my kids.
Whoops. I want to roll that back a little bit. Hear what she says one more time. And maybe, okay, and here's the other thing too. I heard that the rings are Charlie Kirk's rings, but maybe they're not his rings. I don't know. I thought I read through people saying that those were his rings. They may not be. I could be wrong on that. Because she does say something about him not liking to wear jewelry in general. So maybe that is the case. But not every guy likes wearing jewelry, right? Or having jewelry, but they still have some little bit of something, that they might wear every once in a while just because they can, right? So it's just something to think about. All right. Like I said, people react to trauma and grieve differently, right? So again, who are we to judge at that, right? But at the same time, I get the questions. For sure.
Media. There was no AI. I can tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider and think about whatever you put online, because it's going to impact his kids in the future. I don't want my kids to go on the internet one day when they're older and see things that it's just, we're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
Do you feel safe?
I do. What are they going to threaten me with? Going to heaven sooner to be with my husband? And I don't say that to be reckless. I do not. I do not say that because I'm out in the streets like, here I am, come find me. And that's not at all. It's a fearlessness that's rooted in the understanding that I will have my day and my time, whenever that is. When the Lord knows that I've completed my mission. And I'm not afraid. Charlie wasn't afraid either. We never lived in fear. If we did, we wouldn't get anything done. And I can't help run alongside this mission of Turning Point USA and raise my babies with fear. I can't. That's not a life to live for anybody.
What's the hardest part of your day?
The nighttime, always. I'll tell him about my day. I talk to him all the time. But the nights are the hardest. Being in a bed by yourself. Rolling over, trying to goodnight kiss that's not there. You know, and anyone who's a widow knows what that means. How painful that is. Excuse me. It's so easy to take the little things for granted, but you know what's so interesting? I was thinking about this the other day. It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. I think it's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you? Because God is so good and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets, and I think that that's why processing this for me is probably different than most, because people say, how can you do all what you do? And it's because I loved and still love Charlie.
Did you watch the news after the assassination? Because there were some people saying that Charlie deserved to die. Mm-hmm. Charlie had it coming.
There's so much beauty in life. I don't know why you would waste your time saying somebody deserves to be publicly executed in front of everyone. That's just, why would you say that? Again, that could have been your parent, your spouse, your loved one. You think it's funny until it's someone you love? I would just ask them to really reassess their priorities in life if they get a high off of watching someone be murdered.
Jimmy Kimmel lied about your husband's murder and didn't really apologize. Mm-hmm. What would you say to Jimmy Kimmel?
Same thing I told Sinclair. They asked, I haven't really told anybody this, so they asked, do you want Jimmy to give you an apology? Do you want to be on his show? How can we make it right? Through our team, I responded. I said, tell them thank you, we received their note. This is not our issue, not our mess. We are grieving and we have an organization to run. My husband never told people what to say. You do what you think is best and right, and I prayerfully wish you the best. But I will never ask someone to give me an apology that they don't genuinely mean. That's between you and the Lord. If you want to say I'm sorry to someone who's grieving, go right ahead. But if that's not in your heart, don't do it. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Click here.
So, okay, so that was, the big portion of it. I mean, obviously that's the main portion of it. Obviously there's other parts of them, like, how they met and all that stuff, right? And, very nice to hear that the origin story of how they met and how they fell in love and the relationship that they end up having and blah, blah, blah. But outside of that, and I think that's important too, because it gives us more of an opportunity to get to know more about the dynamics of that relationship. But again, I mean, what say you guys now that you've seen the actual main part of the interview? Are you believing it? Do you think it's fake news, or do you think it's not? Right? Now, again, real quick, yeah, people are saying that she's pregnant again. I have not heard anything. Yeah, I have not heard anything, any truth of that. Just so you know, I have not heard any truth of that, and she does not give off the vibe that she's pregnant, but I don't know. The speculation and the rumors are going crazy. All right. If she is pregnant, that would be news to me. I think that would be news to y'all too, right? So if that information ever does come out, we'll talk about it. But from what I'm seeing, I just Googled it really quick. And even Google AI is basically saying it has not been confirmed anything about her being pregnant. Okay. But social media has been going crazy about this. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors stemming from Facebook posts that were seemingly created to generate advertising revenue for these specific external websites. So basically, fake AI photos that are out here, her holding up like pregnancy photos and everything. No, I don't think she's pregnant. Okay, just so you know. Okay. But nonetheless, and of course, there's other pieces that where she goes off and they're looking at the headquarters. They're taking a look at the TP USA headquarters. They're taking a look at all this different stuff. And that's all interesting and fine and dandy. But honestly, I wanted to show you guys like the main meat and potatoes of the whole thing, right? The main nuts and bolts of the conversation and the parts that everybody is interested in listening to and watching, right? Not saying that the origin story and what TP USA is about to venture off to and what they're doing in this new venture and all of that. I'm not saying that isn't important, but of course, for all of us that are solely focused on the actual tragedy and the actual crime that happened, we all want to hear what the wife has to say about everything, because she hasn't really done any interview. That's the first interview that she's done ever. Sure, she's been speaking. She's been out here speaking on, continuing his tour. All right. But she has not had a sit down interview with anybody except for Jesse Waters. And again, you see it for yourself. I'm going to be real. I understand why people are side-eyeing it. I could definitely understand why people are side-eyeing it. And I'm not surprised about that. Not one bit. I think that there's always going to be some sort of polarizing reaction. I think no matter what, there will be a polarizing reaction, no matter how many ways she does this. If she was a sobbing mess throughout the entire thing, I think people will still say that she's faking and it's fake news. And then there's going to be other people that are like, bless her heart, oh my God, right? I just think that it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation here. I'm going to be real. she could have been a sobbing mess and there still would have been somebody picking it and going, oh, it's all fake. Or she could have been straight stoic and just talking, chuckling a little bit. People would rip that to shreds. So in a way, it's kind of like she has no choice but to, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, But it is weird. I'm gonna be real. It is interesting, right? It is an interesting situation. I mean, she does the interview and how she's speaking, how she's delivering things, how she's addressing things. It's weird. It's interesting. It's interesting. Do I think she's lying? Do I think she's acting? Not entirely, no. But she does know that cameras are on her, and she does know that everybody and their mama is critiquing every single syllable that she utters out of her mouth. So I could see maybe some moments of staying in the moment. And here's the other thing too. I don't know what she's like when the cameras aren't rolling. I really don't. I don't know her at all. So we'll see how it all goes down. Let me be real too. Okay. My heart goes out to her. Losing someone you love like that in that kind of way, insane. She did say in another part of the interview, that he did not like wearing the bulletproof vests. We didn't hear that in the interview, but she did say like, hey, he said, hey, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me. And a bulletproof vest isn't going to change a damn thing, because let's be real. She wasn't wrong. And he wasn't wrong either. It was up here, not down here where he got hit. So again, he was like, yo, if they're going to take me out, they're going to take me out. So that's something that was kind of confirmed, because I know a lot of people are like, well, you could see the bullet kind of bounced off. It looks like it bounced off the bulletproof vest and then it went up. No, he just got hit, and the impact of the bullet entering his neck made the shirt do that. Kind of like boom, right? That's it. That's it. And I know everybody's like, oh yeah, the bullet came in from another side. It came in from this way. It came in from that way. You know what I mean? It's turning into JFK's magic bullet, right? But in actuality, it came in through this way. My only issue is that if it was a 30-06, this whole side of his body would have been gone. It would have been a hole. And there wasn't. And then they were trying to go with this. And this is one of the only parts where I fully agree with Candace Owens on. I'm sorry, but it's the only part that I really agree with her on. You can miss me with the nonsense of him being like, he's a man of steel. His body is made out of steel. Once again, he was a savior, and he saved the world by stopping that 30-06. If it went straight through his body, somebody else would have been injured or lost his life. Praise him for being such a man of steel when that kind of 30-06 can actually go through steel. So explain that to me. That part I have a problem with. They say a 30-06 ripped through his body, but it didn't go through. Trust me, I've seen images. Images you don't want to see, okay? Of 30-06 holes in bodies. Holes. Exit wounds. Like big holes. So if he got hit right here and it just stuck right there, not with a 30-06, baby. No, cabrón. So something's weird right there. That part is weird. That part is most definitely weird. Okay. And again, I mean, classic. If you didn't see the actual hit, he got hit and it was a fountain projectile coming out like this, like that. I hate to say it like that, and I hate to give you that graphic and that description, but that really was what it was. Oh, Brenda on Facebook. Yeah, I don't recommend you going and reliving the video itself all over again, but you can see it. It's instant. He gets hit. It's a bang. And then before he even slumps over to the side like that, it's a stream that comes out. So it's real. It's shocking. It's disturbing and it's shocking and it's real. But you're telling me a 30-06 didn't go and exit his body? Okay? And it's not like it was so windy out there, the projectile couldn't go at full speed. No, it's cutting through the air. So why would it suddenly just stop in his body if it was a 30-06? I hate to ask that. Okay? Candace, if Candace said that there was no red, then she wrong. Oh, there's red. I'm telling you right now, go check it again. Okay? Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Messi. That's a good idea, Messi. Right? Trying to get Ian Runkle of the Bailey to come on a Diligent and give his firearm expertise. Yes, I agree. And Joe Scott Morgan with his forensics, it would be a good idea. Now, here's the other thing too. I want to say this too. They didn't mention this or talk about this, or they talked about it in the interview, but I didn't show it to you guys in that video. Here's something I want to talk about real quick. Where's the autopsy? Where is the autopsy? Or the autopsy? Not autopsy. Autopsy. Assemble. You know what I mean? Where's the autopsy? They talk about it. She even says it too in the interview. She's like, I've seen the information. I've seen the autopsy. Where's the autopsy then? Where? I haven't seen it. Everybody and their mama wants to see it too. Why won't you put that information out? See what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. Come on. Okay. This is the only, like, see what I'm saying? The tinfoil hat is off to this side. But then I'm like, snap. You know what I mean? Screwing it back on my head because I'm like, wait a second. Text messages are weird. Timeline is weird. Dudes out there going, I did it. Arrest me. Weird, right? Autopsy, the fact that they don't have that out for everybody to see, weird. The fact that his body's made of steel, the fact that he's Superman, and a 30-06 didn't rip through his body, especially in a very fleshy area. If you really think about it, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's a very fleshy area. Didn't rip through his body. Why? Yes, Jose. Very suspicious. Very suspicious. That makes no sense. So that is a part. These are the moments that I'm side-eyeing. This is the reason why I feel that Tyler Robinson may not have been the only one operating on this situation. Let's be real. He just walked over there. He drove. Okay. Everything happened by happenstance. That he just showed up. And, oh, Eureka! A building with easy access to the roof. How amazing! I'm just going to walk up there and take a look. There's his tent. Prove me wrong. I can see it right here. Okay. Sounds good. After a 3-hour some-odd drive all the way down there, he just wings it. Then goes, puts the rifle, stuffs it in his pant leg, hobbles, like he the mother-loving, I don't know, nutcracker or something like that. Okay? Over to the place, not looking suspicious at all. he just got a random hitch in his step, was able to walk up the stairs with said rifle in his pant leg. Hold on. We've seen the video of him hobbling. Okay? Hobble and hobble. Okay? That's his name. On the way. Hobble and hobbles, just doing this. Okay? The ants are marching 2 by 2. Hurrah. Come on now. Then he's able to walk up those stairs. Flights, by the way, to get all the way to the top. Still hobbling? He can't even bend his mother-loving knee. So what do you mean? Explain that to me. No one stopped him on his way ascending up the stairs to the roof after he scouted it hours before? Like I said, he drove 3 some odd hours and then he showed up and then suddenly out of nowhere, he's like, oh, perfect. Easy access right here. Perfect spot. Got the shot. It's going to be amazing. Boom. Then he goes back to his car or wherever he was doing. He goes over there, gets the thing, changes clothes, I guess, at some point, puts that mother-loving long-ass rifle in his pant leg, hobble and hobble, walking that way all the way to the building. Then he gets to the building, and instead, what did he do? He just hopped up the stairs? What did he do? Because if you take out that rifle, and what if somebody's coming down the stairs and sees him holding the rifle while he's trying to ascend to the roof? So he must have just done swooping his leg around, you know what I mean? Every step of the way to get to the roof. Then he got to the roof, and Eureka! Access to the roof was now locked off. How lucky. And then he gets over there, sets it up, sits there in his prone position, waiting for the moment. And then, how perfect. Hey, do you know how many trans assailants have been involved in mass tragedies? Too many. Whoa. Well, what I'm asking is because trans assailants, blah, 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 bang. Huh? Then he jumps off the roof and then he runs for it. Wraps it in a bag, wraps it in a towel, stuffs it in a bush. In the meantime, he goes over to, where did he go? The mother-loving Dairy Queen. Somebody's got a joke for that, but I'm not going there. Okay. It's rude. But anyway, he goes to a Dairy Queen. And then he sits around waiting. And while he's waiting, getting some fries in a blizzard at a Dairy Queen. And Noah's sitting there having a fry and a Frosty or a blizzard. He's texting his lover. Yes, my love. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for law enforcement so I can go back to my vehicle, so I can retrieve my pawpaw's rifle, his artillery, before I go back into my vehicle and drive several hours back into your loving furry arms. Yes, my love. Can't believe why we're here and I'm having a blizzard and some fried fries. Let me tell you about my plot. Can't believe I wrote those things on the bullets. I'm a bad boy. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I'm going to hell. But all I'm saying is, come on now. Come on now. Make that make sense. Does it? It doesn't. I love these blizzard and these fries. Yes, love. As I wait for law enforcement to stop looking, as I'm out here out on a lamb, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be back into the arms of my lover, my love. Make that make sense. Garrett says, yeah, this is a great combo. These fries and this blizzy. Yeah, baby. See, but that doesn't sound like he would be saying that, right? Yes, my love. As I wait here, I am having some fries and a blizzy. Nah, he's not saying it like that. So again, make this make sense. Messy. Thank you so much. Autopsies typically are withheld until trial/plea. Really? I thought that they are able to come out with a little bit of information, right? At least like cause of demise is this or something of that sort, right? A few more details, but we haven't really gotten much of anything, at least the general public. I feel like that's information that they do come out with, because if you really think about it, okay, here's a case that we haven't talked about in a while. David, D4VD, right? And Celeste Rivas. We haven't talked about that in a while, but there really hasn't been a whole lot of information lately. I may be doing a video about this later, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of information as of late. One thing that they're waiting for is the toxicology, right? Autopsy toxicology. Apparently, that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days. Why can they have that coming out if there's a pending trial coming? Because somebody's going to get hit with something. She either was moved after she passed away, or somebody took that young girl's life, right? But everybody and their mama's waiting for that toxicology. We always find out, oh, this young person or this particular person lost their lives by X, Y, and Z. Autopsy reports came back and said this. Medical examiners said this, that, and the third. So again, I'm going, okay, that's information that I feel like should be out here for the public, right? So that would be interesting if they're withholding that information till the trial. That would be weird. But maybe they do that. Mary, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do, or super sticker. I really do appreciate it. But again, interesting, right? Yes, thank you, Classic. Yes, autopsies can be prioritized and have faster results. Yeah. Sometimes they have a preliminary autopsy that comes out first, right? Or a preliminary toxicology report that comes out first before they come out with the definitive full breakdown. Isn't that what we saw with Riley Strain, if I'm correct? We saw that too. We saw a preliminary toxicology report before we actually got the full toxicology report, right? And then we covered both, if I remember correctly. Well, we've seen that. Because they, of course, when it's a high-profile case, they'll try to get that information out as quickly as possible, right? So, interesting. And maybe it is a Utah thing, Holly. Maybe it is a Utah thing, and they keep it private there. Maybe that's possible. It's interesting if that's the case, though. That'd be very, very interesting if that is the case. Hold on, let me just check something here really quick. And I like I said before, a lot of people are side-eyeing the hell out of Mikey McCoy and his daddy. Okay. He is one of the people that worked very closely to Charlie Kirk. He was the chief of staff. There's a lot of people that are speculating that maybe something happened, something sinister like this happened, so that whoever could take over Charlie Kirk's slot. But here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, and I don't mean this to be mean. Okay. What's very interesting. Yes, I saw that too. Hold on, Messy. I'm going to get to that, Messy. And I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't think Turning Point USA is going to, well, I'm not sitting here saying that Turning Point USA doesn't have a leg to stand on. It definitely does. In fact, his passing brought more people forward, brought more people to join, incentivized more people to become supporters of the Turning Point USA movement. But there are other people like the likes of Nick Fuentes that are really starting to get a lot of attention. Because here's the thing. One thing that Charlie Kirk had was the voice or the ears of the youth. And we talking about the youths, not 40-plus-year-old individuals, not middle-aged, not people who had already graduated college and all that. I'm talking young listeners. He did have that grasp. Now, Nick Fuentes is basically taking the lead on that situation as well. He's now kind of become the unexpected predecessor to Charlie Kirk. And what's crazy about this is that Nick Fuentes is worse. He's worse than Charlie Kirk. He's more radicalized. He's more extreme. He is more of he's a proud supporter of the funny mustache man. He has said it a million times before. He does not have a good energy. Let's just say that. For lack of a better term, he does not have good energy. His energy is completely different. He pushes America first, but it is a different kind of America first. When they say America first, they're not talking about like all of us black, brown, yellow, white, and all the other colors under the rainbow living in a copacetic, amazing country called America. No, America first means whites. Whites first. That's the truth. This is not somebody who says, hey, we should be living in an integrated world, in an integrated country where we all can get along. No. He is sans anti-Rodney King. He is, no, we should not all get along. He's a dangerous person, in my personal opinion, because now he's grabbing those young Republicans, those young conservative minds. He is now getting their ears because they're going to him now. And here's the thing. You can't sit here and say anything. Like, you can't sit there and go, because there's so many people out here, as soon as you say anything negative about like what Charlie Kirk has said in the past, everyone will be like, but you haven't heard the whole thing. You got that out of context, man. Right? Well, here's the difference between Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes. You don't need to take Nick Fuentes out of context because he has said those things. Even out of context, it sounds terrible. And he's not saying it as a joke. He's not saying it to be, hee ha ha. These are his actual thoughts and these are his actual views, and they're very dangerous, especially when he is pouring that type of information and those seeds into young Republicans right now as we speak, because everyone's flooding over to Nick Fuentes now. The young Republicans are flooding to Nick Fuentes. And that's very dangerous. I'm going to continue about that, but I want to grab this really quick. Messi, thank you so much. The father guy who asked, I think you're saying, the father of the guy who asked the question to Charlie Kirk before he lost his life was a producer for Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, I heard that as well. I've seen those TikToks, and that's some pretty wild stuff. I'm going to be real. That's some pretty wild stuff. Okay. But here's the thing. Oh, and that's the thing. No, Holly, no, he's not gay. He's definitely not. Last I've heard. Okay. But he definitely has an issue. He definitely has an issue with women and women in places of power, or, like I said, there's this whole other movement where it's like women should be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, making sandwiches, not making big decisions. It's the man that's supposed to be doing it. That's it. Yeah, he's basically an incel. Okay? And how he says how women should be ard, women like to be ard. Like there's crazy stuff that he has said out here. And the thing is that people will sit there and go, when it came to Charlie Kirk, they'll go, you're taking it out of context. It's out of context. Nope, not with this guy, at least. Now he's trying to walk those things back a little bit. But he has said, I love the funny mustache man. He'll say he was cool. He was the bee's knees. But this is how that guy thinks. Okay? This is what the guy thinks for himself. This is what he thinks in his own mind. And he's saying these things and he's spewing these things into the minds and the ears of these young Republicans. Now, I want to remind you guys this too. And I know this was not the goal to get into a political conversation here, but we are going to talk about it no matter what. Because here's the thing. I worry for the Republican Party. Yeah, I do. I worry. Because if you have the likes of somebody like Nick Fuentes taking over, and now it's another level, y'all. Charlie Kirk was like, he's like pop music, you know, in comparison to Nick Fuentes is like death metal. Okay. It's not good. Okay. It's not good. It is not a voice that we need to have out here, a prominent voice that we need to have out here. I will say it. We don't. And yes, he has the right to his own opinions because of free speech and all that, but it doesn't mean that I have to like it. And what he stands for is wrong. I think you already picked up what I was putting down way before I even put it down. But this is a guy who is very dangerous now and is taking over, or at least he's starting to. And here's the thing, because I know a lot of y'all haven't been, maybe some of you guys have been savvy to this situation, and maybe some of y'all have not. But there's one thing for sure. There was a leak that recently happened where there was a report that came out showing young Republicans talking about people of color, any person that's outside of white and Christian. And it was really bad. All kinds of racist type of content, types of words, etc. This is all parts of people who are part of this, what they call young Republicans. And I want to remind you, young Republicans does not mean that they're like 15, 16 years old. But because there are guys in that group that are in their 30s commenting this type of way, right? Very terrible, very fiery, spicy, disgusting things about people that are not white and Christian. Let's just say that. This is something that just has been falling out lately, okay? And this happened a few weeks ago. And then now we're hearing Nick Fuentes is starting to make some serious moves. And here's the thing. The Republican Party, there has been quite the rift in the Republican Party. And it all started because Tucker Carlson, of all people, decided to have a full-on podcast interview with the likes of Nick Fuentes. Yes, it all started there. Well, it started with the leak with the young Republicans, and then in comes this interview with Nick Fuentes with Tucker Carlson. Something that a lot of people did not expect. He brought Tucker Carlson brought Nick Fuentes onto his own platform. And people, Republican people, started to lose their freaking minds. Because you got to remember, there's this whole thing with Israel and Zionism and all that. And if you don't know what Zionists are, they are basically, we must protect Israel at all costs. Just so you know. And that's a very blanketed statement, okay? That's a blanketed breakdown. But whenever you hear the like from Candace Owens or the likes of Tucker Carlson, two who are anti-Zionists, okay? They are anti-Israel. Basically, a Zionist is pro-Israel, period, okay? If you go against Israel and the thoughts of what's going on in Israel, then, or if you are an anti-Zionist, or if you are America first, then they basically say that you're an anti-Semite, just so you know. So, and we already know what Nick Fuentes is. He's America first. And we already have Tucker Carlson, who's been in serious hot water as being called anti-Semite, etc., because he is not pro-Israel. So you got two individuals on Tucker Carlson's show. You got Nick Fuentes sitting there and having conversations. Okay? This angers a lot of people. A lot of people. To the point where they have a whole press conference and they had printed out, literally professionally printed out flyers or banners that basically said, what does it say? Like, Tucker Carlson's not MAGA. So now there's a civil war going on within MAGA because of this interview that Tucker Carlson had with Nick Fuentes. And you got to remember, the MAGA base does listen to a lot of Tucker Carlson. And he brought the likes of someone like Nick Fuentes onto his platform. And he is not what they believe is the breakdown of what MAGA is, which is pro-Israel. You see what I'm getting at? So Tucker Carlson brings this guy on who is anti-Israel. He happens to be anti-Israel as well. But there's two very popular podcasters in one room at the same time, and this pisses off the MAGA base. And now the rift is getting bigger and bigger within MAGA, because there are people out here being like, well, it should be America first. And then there's other people that are like, no, it should be, Israel, pro-Israel. What are you talking about? This is what's going on in MAGA right now in real time. All because Tucker Carlson brought Nick Fuentes onto his mother-loving show. Since it's insane. I'm sorry. It is insane. Okay? But this is actually happening right now. And no, it's not because of what's going on with the government shutdown. It's not because of I'm sure that's not helping the situation for maybe the layman's out here, okay, in the MAGA world, right? But this is pissing off a lot of people. This whole situation. And obviously the interview and the conversation that they had was pretty big, okay? I'm not sitting here saying just because his face was in the interview. No, the things that they discussed and all that caused quite a problem, to the point where you had a huge press conference and the likes of like Ted Cruz and other people speaking out against Nick Fuentes and all that. It was insane. And what's Nick Fuentes doing? He's gobbling it all up. He's eating it up. Why? Because people are looking him up now. People are like, who this guy? Who's this Fuentes dude? So now he's getting more viewers. Now he's getting more listeners. Not only because of how people are reacting, but also because Tucker Carlson, who has a very big listening base, introduced his world and his listeners to Nick Fuentes. So now everybody's going over there and listening to Nick Fuentes too. You see how bad that it's bad. It's bad. It's not good. And yes, Callie Dime, ain't no such thing as bad publicity, especially for Nick Fuentes. For a fact, 90% of the publicity that he's getting is negative publicity, but it still ain't stopping people going over there and checking him out. and listening to a couple minutes and going, I like him, and continuing to listen to him. But someone who has that kind of influence can be very dangerous. Like I said, this is something that I would love. Well, Messi, here it is. Before I say what I got to say here, just because you're right, just because people listen doesn't mean they listen. Yes and no. I agree to a certain extent, because here's the thing. There's going to be two different types of people. There's going to be people who actually listen to him for 5 seconds and go, nah, he's not my cup of tea. And they're going to move on. They're going to go back to the Tucker Carlsons, or they're going to listen to their Ben Shapiro's, or, their Matt Walsh's, or their Candace Owens's, right? But then there's going to be the other ones that are listening and going, damn right, I like what he has to say. I need that. Damn right. He's saying the quiet part out loud. I need that. And then they're going to go. And they're going to continue listening. And then there's going to be the other ones. Oh, there's a third. I'm sorry. There's a third that's going to go and listen. And then they're going to get radicalized by what this guy is saying. Because like I said, there are things that he's saying that people are not saying they're subtly saying it. There are people out here that are subtly saying what he's saying full force, bluntly in your face. And here's the thing. He has a right to do that because, free speech. I don't have to agree with it. But unfortunately, he's got his First Amendment right to say what he wants. Now, obviously, this is something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, or I've been interested in expanding on that and talking even further about this more. Maybe I'll just put up a quick poll and see if you guys want me to talk about that a little bit more. But I mean, the New York Times did a whole article about this dude, about Nick Fuentes, which does not make the situation any better. You understand that? It doesn't make the situation any better. But Nick Fuentes is single-handedly nuking the MAGA base right now. You understand? This is not good. It's not good. It's already, you know what I mean? For those of us who have opinions on, MAGA and what it stands for and what it doesn't stand for and blah, blah, blah. He's taking all the stereotypes, okay? All the stigmas that are attached to what MAGA is stereotypically, like it is stereotypically. He's taking that and he's like, oh, no. It's not just rumor. It is. And that's not good. And I've said this in the past. When Charlie Kirk lost his life initially, there was the whole conversation about damn fish, the groypers, right? And saying, oh, these groypers, had something to do with it. He was the one who radicalized these people because this was before they found Tyler, by the way. But he radicalized some groypers to do this. And that's how he got snuffed out from Nick Fuentes. Well, obviously that's not true. All right. Or at least that we know of. Right. But now he is now in the forefront. People were thinking that, he took out Charlie Kirk so he could take his slot. Guess what's happening right now? He's taking his slot. Like I said, Turning Point USA, because there is no Charlie Kirk anymore, they're looking for other people. They're looking and they're trying to find the next Charlie Kirk. And a lot of people are flooding over to Nick Fuentes. Hold on. That just reminded me of something. Let me show you this. Candace Owens even put a tweet up a couple days ago. So I want to pull this up real quick. Where is it? Too many damn tweets, girl. Hold on. Damn, come on, man. She said something along the lines of, where the heck is it? Oh, this is going to drive me nuts. Ah, here it is. Let me just show this to you guys really quick. This is from her tweet. She put this tweet up 3 days ago. I saw it and I was like, oh, this is interesting, right? So here it is. She says, from the moment he was pew-pewed, okay, the GOP, which is the Republican Party, has been effectively hosting public auditions to be the next Charlie Kirk. It's beyond obvious to the public, and it makes our skin crawl. So please stop. Now, she ain't wrong. We've seen all these other guys showing up out of nowhere. Okay, all these skinny, very, put together guys in $3,000 suits, basically going, "Hi, I'm such and such, and I'm on a private jet flying over to this university to debate and speak to you." Right? That's really happening. Nothing to do with Turning Point USA. Just random guys on planes trying to take over that slot. But guess what? Everyone's going over to Nick Fuentes. Why? Because they see through the BS. Kid in, wearing his beautifully polished, sneakers, rocking a $3,000 suit, flying in a private jet, being like, "I'm on my way to see you. Debate you guys at your university. Coming to a university near you. Can't wait to see ya. See you guys soon." That's what's happening right now. They're trying to audition. She ain't wrong. For the next Charlie Kirk. Here's the other thing too. Speaking of Erika Kirk, I'm not trying to do anything, any way, shape, or form being disrespectful, but I'm going to say something really quick. And I'm just speaking on the side of people that followed Charlie Kirk. He had a lot of young men and young male listeners. Do you think that they're going to listen to the likes of a woman right now? I'm sorry. Do you understand that? And I don't mean that to be rude. I'm being honest. Do you really think that Charlie Kirk's base that he has cultivated over several years is going to suddenly go, "I'm listening to Erika Kirk now"? I tell you what, nope, they're not. I'm sorry, but listen, he is also somebody who is like, the woman should be following the man. But now she's the CEO. And if she ends up taking over his show, do you think they're going to listen to her? She might be able to get a female following, female listeners and all that. Sure. Bet. Do that. Go for it. But I doubt that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to stick around for what he has been cultivating and had built before he lost his life. And a lot of those young male listeners are only going to want to listen to a male. I hate to say it like that, but they're not going to listen to her. So I can see how she might be like, "All right, I'm the CEO, but I'm going to sit in the back. I'm going to give it I'm going to pass the microphone on to somebody else that can rock this platform the way that Charlie Kirk wanted it to be and wants it to continue." But these guys are not going to listen to Charlie Kirk's wife. I'm sorry, they're not. They're already side-eyeing the hell out of her anyway. They're already having feeling some type of way about the investigation revolving around his passing. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just stating facts. She'll be able to build a following. She could do her own show, Erika Kirk show, and I'm sure it will do just fine. I'm sure it'll do amazing. Because people who listened to Charlie Kirk weren't all just men. I'm just saying. So again, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here and how all of this transpires. Let me just look at this really quick. Okay. One second, guys. Sorry. What is this? Oh, there's something else. Yeah. You know what? We'll pull this up. Let's pull this up for a second. Okay, because I am kind of curious about this too. Remember, I was like, who's the Zizianians? What the hell's this, right? Thank you, Messi, for sending this to me. I appreciate it. But it says, who are Zizians? Or zippity doodah zippity yay. Okay, who are they? Okay, it's called like group under FBI investigation. This was an article written in February of this year. Okay. So the arrest of 3 people in Maryland has helped shed new light on a series of connected passings across the country that experts say are tied to a group called Zizians. So, named after their purported leader, Jack Ziz Lasota, 34, the group is connected to at least 6 demises nationwide, according to police interviews with people who know group members, the FBI, and court records. So Ziz, or Lasota, was assigned male at birth, but uses female pronouns. Okay. Federal and state court records refer to Lasota as a man. Okay, that's okay. Sorry, I had to reread that again. I'm like, wait a second. It gets a little confusing. No disrespect, but I was a little confused for a second there. Moving on. Lasota was one of the 3 armed people arrested Monday after trespassing in a rural area and then asking a landowner if they could live there in 2 box trucks. Lasota and one of the other people arrested Monday have been on the run for months, according to police. So the unfolding details have drawn international attention and flashy headlines as authorities, court records, and interviews have revealed a tangled web of relationships and shocking violence linked to a small group of highly educated vegan computer experts. Say that one more time. Sorry. Court records and interviews have revealed a tangled web of relationships and shocking violence linked to a small group of highly educated vegan computer experts. Why does this sound like the plot breakdown of some sci-fi movie? So which one is Ziz? Oh, this is Ziz. Ziz is right here. That be Jack Ziz Lasota, just so you know. And they're vegan. And they're highly trained, highly educated computer experts. And they're vegan too. They're not all necessarily all connected in one overarching plan. It's not necessarily like a Manson family type of plan. Let's see. When you look at Lasota's writings, it's all about the mind and consciousness. Lasota doesn't really seem interested in left-wing political issues the way most people would understand it. US Today consulted several extremism experts, interviewed a person who knew several members of the group, and examined dozens of court filings from Vermont to Pennsylvania and California to understand the bigger picture. So who are the Zizians? Experts and people who know them say the group is led by Lasota, who in online postings discuss the nature of consciousness and rational decision making. Many of the group members are vegan, okay, and either have degrees in computer science or have studied related fields. Some members of the group are transgender or have rejected binary sexuality. The group at one time was based in the San Francisco area, living in box trucks on a landlord's property. members also appear to have lived in North Carolina and Vermont, citing Lesoto's online postings. Pitcavage, I guess is somebody said the group has elements of a religious cult. So Britain's Daily Mail newspaper referred to Lesotho as the quote unquote tech genius's leader, the tech genius leader of a vegan trans cult. And the New York Post called the group a radical leftist trans militant cult. Why were some arrested? Group members are charged with violent offenses in multiple states at both the state and federal level. Authorities have not yet indicated any cohesive motive for the offenses, and experts consulted by US Today said the online nature of the connections between the Zizians may make it hard to link the crimes definitely. So this is interesting. So again, this is a group that's pretty radicalized, a radical leftist trans militant group, fairly intelligent individuals, right? Also vegan, that have been radicalized or have been incentivized by the likes of this particular person, Jack Ziz Lesotho. So this is very interesting. Very interesting. But again, that is something that people are talking about, right? Because at first they thought, well, there's a lot of theories about Zizians being involved or being connected to the demise of Charlie Kirk. Okay? Was it Zizians? Were they partially involved? Is it Groypers? I have no idea. I have no clue. But nonetheless, that is very interesting. I will say that. That is some very, 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 very interesting stuff. Now, again, they have not given us much. The feds have not given us, the general public, really anything. We just have the guy's been arrested. Here are some text messages. Here's his rifle. And that's it. That's all they've done. And we're supposed to look at that and go, okay, that's enough. Moving on. And that's weird. That's weird. There's been a lot of speculation about Groypers. There's been a lot of speculation about Zizians. There's been a lot of speculation about just anybody who's radicalized left. There's been a lot of speculations about Israel, Egypt, if I'm correct, etc., which is weird. But again, we don't know. We haven't heard anything except some trashy AI chat GPT text messages between Tyler Robinson and Twigs, and how he explains the whole plot of the movie in his text messages. Like I've said before, it feels like he is doing the whole villain monologue before, like right when his plan is thwarted, right? Or right at the end of the movie. This is why I decided to steal your cat, because I couldn't take it anymore. You know what I mean? You know the whole thing. He's holding the knife. He's holding the cat in the other arm, right? You're like, oh, okay. And it's a big reveal. Steven, I can't believe it. It was you all along? Yes, because I couldn't take your cat anymore. You know what I mean? That whole thing. Just a few weeks ago, and then they do the flashback, and they just break it all the way down, show everything. So that's why my toilet seat was up. That's what happened. You know what I mean? It's all that BS, right? And then the villain gets arrested, or he dies at the end, and they all live a happily ever after. The cat is fine, and the toilet seat gets put back down. Everything's fine, right? But it's like you thwarted the plan, right? That's what it feels like in those text messages, right? Ooey oo, right? Seems a little weird. Seems very Tyler Perry at the end of the movie, right? Can't believe we fooled him that we've been banging all this time. Can't believe he thought it was somebody else. Thank God we're in the middle of the lake right now, right above where we put the body and the millions of dollars floating in the middle of the lake right now, because so we can get this and run off together, and you can finally get your hair done and stop wearing those ugly ass wigs that Tyler Perry puts you in all the time in these damn movies. So let's go. You see what I'm saying? Those are the text messages. I can't believe I scribed. I can't believe I wrote those messages on the bullets. Ugh, I'm so embarrassed. Ooh. Like, come on, y'all. And we're supposed to ride along with it. For a fact, that is the moment in the movie that you're watching where you go, okay, I'm done. You walk out. You walk out of the damn movie, or you change it to something else. Now you're watching Love Island. You know what I'm saying? You're like, baby, you know what? This is worse than Love Island. You just put on Love Island. No, I'm not. No, I know we watched 90% of this, but I already know how it ends. We already know how. Can we give it? I got the remote now. I'm putting on. I hate this show. I'm putting this on so we don't have to watch this crap anymore. Do you mind? Please? Yes, I know you want to know. How does it end? You already know how it ends. Come on now. Ooh. It's frustrating, y'all. It's frustrating. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Here, okay. So real quick. I was watching I Know What You Did Last Summer. Not the original, the remake. Okay? The new one that just came out. It was like Halloween time, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me watch this movie. Let me watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's trash. It is trash. Okay? I literally saw an article about this where people are like, one of the best horror movies of the year is finally on Netflix. And I was like, ooh, which one? What could that be? I clicked on it. I'm like, click. And it said, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the remake. And I'm like, or like the reboot. And I was like, oh, I almost threw my phone across the room. I was like, are you kidding me? This movie's trash. Why was it trash? Well, the movie was trash like from the beginning to pretty much to the end. But all that other stuff, like the unalivings and all that stuff, it was cool. It was fine. But it was the ending that got me. You want to know why? It was the same thing like Boyfriend on the Couch that says, just put on Love Island and just put on autoplay because I can't anymore. So the monster, the killer is revealed, right? And it's kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you kind of thing, right? And this monster, because I don't want to spoil anything, because if you end up watching it, what? Why? But moving on, they say, this is the reason why I did it. And I said, oh my God, this movie was already bad enough. And now we doing this BS. Who wrote this script? It was all that, you and your, you know what I mean? This is the reason why from years ago, I have had all this anger and vengeance. V for vendetta. You know what I mean? And they're explaining it all. And I'm like, why are we doing this? As they are creeping towards the person little by little. You know what I'm saying? This is why I did it. And I'm like, why are you even, why? What happened to movies? This is bad. Everything's ChatGPT. Everything's AI. Damn. And I literally said, you know what? I'm done. So it's the same thing when you see these text messages and they're reading it out loud. You got a straight-laced FBI agent talking to the public, doing this press conference and going, such and such furry ooey, ooh, oh whoa. Like if you're reading this, you are gay. Anyway. Oh God. You can't make it out. Real talk. He literally, and if you're reading this, you are gay. So that's what he said on those bullets. We're going to move on to the next part, though. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I can't believe they read those things out loud. I'm so embarrassed.
Like, what is that? What is that? So again, the feds have a lot of explaining to do, and they have not explained enough. So of course everybody's side-eyeing this ish. But here's the other side of this, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate for like 2 seconds here. All right? This is how I feel about this too. I feel like if they gave us everything, there'd still be somebody out there or a group of people out there being like, nope, that's not enough. Nah, I still think something sinister happened. What if they gave us everything? Here's all the paperwork. Even Tyler Robinson went up and said, it was me all along. I did it. Rah. You know what I mean? And I got caught. Damn. Everything came out. Would we still be happy? Would we be satiated enough to move the F on and not have all these conspiracy theories sprouting off? If he literally was caught on film, self-videotaping himself, pulling the trigger, hi, okay, hold up. Okay, hi, oh, is it record? Okay, it's recording. Hi, I'm Tyler. Yeah, this is my rifle. This is my gun. Okay, and I'm about to do this over here. So get ready. Okay, and he's sitting there and he pulls the trigger. He does the whole thing, grabs the phone, still recording, jumps off the roof, runs off into the woods, changes clothes, goes over, and he's still vlogging this ish. Goes over to a damn Dairy Queen and gets himself, as one just said, some French fries and a blizzy, yo. Would it still suffice? Would that satiate? Or would everybody still be like, no, it couldn't have been him. No. It wasn't him. It was somebody else. Yet we all saw as much transparent stuff as we saw. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Would it be enough? If Cash Patel said, okay, guys, here's everything. Blah. Here's everything. Get off my nuts. I need to go see my country singer girlfriend sing some songs. I'm going to burn a few taxpayer dollars while you guys look at these documents. Do you really think it's going to be enough? Yeah. Thank you, Messi. Exactly. Koberger even said, yeah, I did it. I'm guilty for what I did. And still people are going, well, did he though? And it's like, yes, he did. What? Come on, he did it. And yet people are still out here going, well, you see, they finally put out the damn K-bar knife sheath. Do you see any blood on it? I don't see not a damn thing. So that man be innocent. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So again, what do we do? What do we do? Again, what do we do? What do we do? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You look at that interview with Erika Kirk as well. Everybody's going to rip it to shreds. Well, is she genuine? Is she real? Is she really crying? Is it real tears? Oh, damn. Her eyes aren't red enough. So I can't. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Not one bit. You see what I'm saying? Is this one thing after another after another? Denial is a hell of a drug. Okay. And never underestimate the power of denial. So again, it's like everyone is inquisitive. Everyone thinks that everything has to be sinister in some sort of way. Everything has to have multi-layers. I get it with this FBI stuff and the stuff that they gave us. For sure, it's weird. There is not enough evidence to satisfy me. But at the same time, do I think it's like some huge, grandiose thing? I don't know. I don't entertain it like that. I think that this guy did this. I think other people were involved. I don't know if the likes of Israel was involved. I don't know about that. I don't know. We need proof. We need proof for that. And if it does show up to be like that, then diggity damn, my mind will be blown. But did he operate alone? No, I don't think he operated alone. Or sorry, no, yeah, I don't think he operated alone. I truly think he had somebody out there or somebody's out there helping him do what he did. Like I said, it just seems weird. Everything leading up to Charlie Kirk's demise just doesn't make sense. But I truly think that Erika Kirk lost somebody that she truly loved. I don't think she lost her, like him losing his life was some sinister back plan for her. I just don't see it. I don't. But I know there's other people out here that are thinking it's something else. And there's other people that are thinking that TP USA is behind the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. I don't see it yet. I just don't see the breadcrumbs don't lead down that route for me. The breadcrumbs lead down Tyler Robinson and other people that were involved that circulated his life. So hopefully we get some more information on that and they get down to the nitty-gritty on that soon. But anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Again, guys, just one more time, please go check out my GoFundMe. Okay? If you can, that'd be awesome. Again, trying to raise some money for this live rig. We almost have a quarter left. That's amazing. So again, if you can, please click on that link pinned to the top of the chat. That would really mean the world to me. If you can contribute a little bit, that would be dope. A little goes a long way, guys. A little goes a long way, and that would really mean the world to me. Seriously. Okay? So go check it out. We're almost a quarter of a way done. That's amazing. So please go check it out. It's pinned at the top of the chat. It's also in the description box down below. Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to be on Court TV tonight. So please be sure to tune in. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm correct. Oh my Lord. I gotta be on point with this. What the hell's wrong with me? It'll be 9 p.m. Sorry, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please tune in. That would really mean the world to me. Okay. I'll be on tonight on Court TV with Vinny Politan, the man, the myth, the legend, the beast, Vinny Politan. And, you know, you're going to be seeing a lot of other people that that you know and love on the show as well. I think Justin, the Nick of Time, is going to be on there as well. So looking forward to having a conversation with my dog on the show as well. So should be a really good show. All right. So be sure to tune in and all that. Okay. But anyway, before you get going, hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. Please and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. Subscribe if you can. That'll be amazing. Go check out the Pascal Show clips and Pascal Raw, 2 other channels on my YouTube. Please make sure you hit that reaction button, that notification bell down below. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That'd be amazing. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Of course, like I said, check out that GoFundMe. If you can support, that would be amazing. A lot of great things coming around the bend with that rig. So anyway, go check it out. That'll be awesome. All right. But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.